Oh my God, free agency has started. Everybody's leaving the Saints defense, but Jameis is staying. What the hell is going on? Thomas, hit that intro.
Barstool Mincy of Barstool Sports here. I'm good friends with the Saints Happy Hour podcast, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm really just friends with Andrew Hughes, so I support him because I feel sorry for him. Good dude, but way too bougie to take seriously when it comes to football.
Sean Payton would have done illegal things. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because you know it's true.
Ralph? If he was an NFL GM, a team would never win a freaking game. Trade this, sign this guy. Awful ideas and armchair quarterbacking, full-blown panic every show.
Marcus Marquez Callaway.
With Dave, here's the key. When he talks, just mute or fast forward 5 minutes. Hopefully he's done talking by then and headed back to the bathroom where he seems to eternally live.
Put that freaking clown meme back up that I made. Jesus Christ.
Then Kevin, man, why the hell is he still on the show? He doesn't even watch the damn games, and somehow they keep inviting him.
Budrich wants to know how the doctor's doing.
That ended.
Podcasting poverty, man. Who dat?
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. We are live on Twitch. If you aren't, follow us on Twitch, and remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcasts. Smash that like button on YouTube. Also, become an annual patron at patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour and get 2 months for free. We have a limited Boys Are Back edition cup as a gift to any new annual patrons at any level, and we are working on a top secret swag item for annual patrons that's coming. Everybody will get that, we promise. And our off-season MVP contest is underway. Anyone who donates any amount during the show each week gets entered into one of our drawings on April 17th, and you get 2 Saints season survival mugs for the 2023 season, and Lord knows you're going to need it after day 1 of free agency. And the person who donates the most each week gets entered into our drawing on April 17th, also to do their own mock draft with us on your own daily episode of the podcast. How amazing is that? And the person who donates the most each week gets to have a 30-second video of themselves giving their Saints hot take played the following week. Thomas, do we have an MVP leader already? 30 seconds into the show.
Yes, sir. Already, Tiger Saint has gifted 5 Tier 1 gift subs and also has resubscribed with Tier 1 sub for 8 months. And also, Big JMC, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub.
All right, let's do what we're drinking. Make it quick. Saints breaking news is happening all over the place. I'm drinking the champagne of beers to drown my sorrows. Saints free agency goes to hell. Dave,
what are you drinking?
I'm still dry this month.
God.
So
why?
I want to give a shout out to Wicker Man. He turned me on to the existence of these sparkling waters that are infused with like hops. So he had a Sierra Nevada one, but I found a Lagunitas one. But it's kind of good. I don't know. It's like La Croix, but like has like this weird essence of beer, like. So it kind of like hits that itch a little bit. It hits the itch more than like a non-alcoholic beer. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, thanks for turning me on to that, and cheers.
Huge. I'm drinking. Well, I had to go straight for the hard stuff because not only did our defense get gutted and we lost 4 players, 3 of them to the NFC South. Von Bell came back to the NFC South. He went to another team. So it's been a disastrous free agency period. And Jameis Winston stays. So right. All of it's horrible. But I'm drinking, so I'm going straight for the hard stuff. Diplomatico, little rum.
Nice.
Maybe I'll forget all about this podcast at the bottom of this drink.
Kevin's drinking throat coat.
There
she is. There she is. Throat coat. He needs a little throat coat after his weekend. We'll get to his weekend later in the show.
Later.
So let's get right into it. Free agency. Atlanta is just stealing all the Saints' goddamn players. They signed Onyemata to a ridiculous contract. But by the way, congratulations to the Falcons for paying the shitty team tax, the full shitty team tax, 100% tax bracket there. 3 years, $35 million, $24 million guaranteed. They got Caden Ellis like 10 minutes before the show started. Dave, Atlanta's really annoying. Like, they don't have any original. Their entire plan to fix the defense is just take mediocre Saints players, sign mediocre Saints coaches, and hope for the best. This is really annoying.
Can they take Peyton Turner? Like, they never take any of the guys.
Can we just give them?
I mean, like, not that Onyemata or any of these guys have been like great, but they're certainly decent. Can they at least take, maybe like Peyton Turner with them?
Kate,
like Marcus Davenport, he's now with the Vikings. He signed a 1-year deal. I'm excited about that. I'm very happy to move on from the Marcus Davenport.
He could
experiment.
be like. Kevin, he could be like, the Caden Ellis signing with Atlanta, he could be like a 90s infomercial. We could package the free gift of Peyton Turner with Caden Ellis, and they can't, no givebacks. They have to take it.
Right. Yeah. He's the commemorative limited edition numbered plate that you get when ordering the stamp collection of the Civil War battles.
Well, I feel like Peyton Turner, he's going to get his shot now because we have like 2 defensive linemen, and you have to start 4. So
they didn't start him in the meaningless game against Carolina, but if they played a game this Sunday, he would definitely start.
Well, that's why. No, well, they were protecting him. They didn't want him to get injured in a meaningless game because coaching staff obviously views him as the future of this defense. They're letting everybody else go. All signs point to Peyton Turner.
So Kevin, here's the moment where I knew the market was not going the way the Saints had wanted it to go. Because I think the Saints thought that they could re-sign Onyemata at like $6 to $8 million a year. And like the defensive tackle market, especially like defensive tackles that don't really pass rush well, the market would be pretty normal for that. I think the Saints thought that, and it kind of went off the rails. The moment I knew the defensive tackle market was completely off the rails, I saw that Shy Tuttle had signed for 3 years, $20 million with Carolina, and it was an Adam Schefter tweet with the contract. And I stared at that tweet for a good 2 minutes, making sure it was real. Because I was like, there is no way that Tuttle is getting $20 million. This is our darn Schefter. I got. Like, I got to make sure it's real, but it was real.
I mean, I did check that blue check mark to be absolutely sure that it was a legacy account and that it wasn't one of those paid Twitter blue things. And then just saw I looked at a couple of the responses and I was like, okay, no, this was legit. But I first saw everybody sort of lamenting the loss of Shy Tuttle, or at least thanking Shy Tuttle for providing such a great moment in Saints history. And people sort of just wishing him the best, like just happy that, hey, the guy's getting paid. You gave us a great moment. Enjoy your money. I hope the Panthers blow goats. Like, that's about it.
Andrew, I think this market, like, it just went sideways on them. They didn't expect any of this, and it's gone badly today for them. But who could have predicted that defensive tackles that were mediocre were going to get $7 million?
Well, he played really well against Carolina. He had 12 tackles in 2 games combined against the Panthers. So, I mean, maybe they overinflated his value based on very specific tape against them. But that was crazy to me. Honestly, I looked at all 4 of the guys they lost today. And, Caden Ellis, 3 years, $21 million. I think maybe you could justify that. Obviously, the Saints have their own cap issues, but if they could make that work financially, that deal felt less scary, except for the fact that you really have DeMario Davis, you have Pete Werner. So do you pay your third linebacker 3 years, $20 million. That was
well,
kind of
and
a
also too,
question
like
for me.
he may have said no. I don't want to. I don't
Right.
want to be the third linebacker.
So
Like,
so
he
you know
gets
that's
choice
the
no matter
one
too.
deal, and I look at the others. Davenport 1 year, $13 million. Onyemata was getting $12 million a year. You mentioned Shai Tuttle's deal, and like to me, you look at all those in a vacuum, and I'm like, man, I wouldn't pay that for those guys.
I mean, if the Saints had cap space, Dave, I would have been like, don't do any of this. Like that they're gone is fine, but now that Marcus 2 firsts and 9.5 fingers is gone, where does he rank in the pantheon of Saints bust? Because he's not like he's not like
Rushmore.
level
He's on the
one.
Rushmore. Yes, he
No,
is. Yes,
no.
he is.
No.
Oh, he's terrible.
No.
Oh,
I mean, you
No.
know,
total disaster.
how
Total
many
disaster.
people?
You know, when
No.
you guys texted that chart of draft picks, where the Saints were on the very end for how much they've gotten for draft pick trading and all that kind of crap, like Davenport was top of mind when I saw that chart. I just total disaster.
Well,
And
it's
Peyton
4
Turner
on Rushmore.
Peyton Turner is right up.
No.
Okay, Peyton Turner and Marcus Davenport, they are the founding fathers of just disasters. And look, I wasn't around for. I wasn't around for Jonathan Sullivan.
Okay, and the
I was
Sean
about to
Payton
say
era,
Jonathan
definitely.
Sullivan on lines 1 and 2.
Jonathan, if we're doing
I get
all
it.
time Saints, you got to have Erb
Sean
Slavin,
Knight.
This is
Sean Knight.
of the modern day Saints. It's up there with
It's all in the modern
with Jairus Byrd.
Sean Payton era. It's Davenport. Stanley,
Jairus
Stephon
Byrd.
Yep.
Stephon Anthony, Stanley Jean Plantiste. He's not around.
just draft picks.
You traded them off.
We traded him. Who else? I mean, in the Sean Payton era, yes, but all-time Saints.
Eat for some.
Anyway, look, my point is like
I don't know. Didn't he have a double-digit sack season? I mean, there was
Al
one year
Woods,
where I would say he was the best player on
He was
on
the
Saints
best. He was the
defense.
best player on the 21 Saints defense. That was
Yeah.
top 5.
I don't know. Bust isn't the right word. To me, it's like I would say that Davenport is really not that far off from like Andrews Pete, Kenny Vaccaro, where it's like disappointing first round pick, didn't live up to expectations. But like at times played pretty damn well.
Can I look? I'm not even drinking, and you guys got me mad. You got me all upset. You got me hot and bothered. This is ridiculous.
This
is ridiculous. Right? You guys, it's an Italian New York thing. It has nothing to do with the alcohol. It never has been. But you guys had to go digging and to cherry pick to find a 9-sack season to defend the fact that they spent 2 first-round picks for the guy. Okay, he was a bust. It was a disaster. It was a total waste of draft capital, and they got nothing out of it. And if I told you, stop. And if I told you that his best season was going to be 9 sacks, and then he might have like 20 sacks altogether or whatever, and by the end of it, we would be to be happy that he was gone in free agency, you would be like, no, please don't do that. Please, Mickey, please don't do that. I forget it. It was terrible.
No,
who knows what they could have done with those first round.
I was going to jump in and defend you, Dave. What they gave up for Davenport, they moved up to like the 13th, 14th pick. What they gave up for Davenport, really, on the draft chart, you should be able to move up to the top 10. So, like, not only did they overpay with 2 firsts, like they should have been able to get higher in the draft. But Thomas,
Cedric Ellis.
Cedric Ellis. Cedric Ellis is the same as Davenport. It's weird.
I feel like Cedric Ellis is actually a great comp to Marcus Davenport.
Brother of Caden.
Thomas, do you have Shai Tuttle? I think we need to play the Shai Tuttle
for the
touchdown,
last time.
or not.
Yeah.
The last time, yeah.
Oh, interception! Matt Ryan! Oh mein Gott! Wie eine Puppe gibt er ihn den Stiffer und er fliegt auf den Boden. Hör doch mal auf.
Yeah. I guess that's it. Like that's the last time we'll play that on here, huh?
Yeah.
I doubt that.
I just
Somehow I doubt
like, I mean, Kevin, your mock drafts, we're gonna have to do We have to have volume 3 of Kevin does a mock draft where you're just going to pick all defensive linemen. Just trade down, do whatever you need to do because the
Brother,
Saints, they ain't got none of them.
Listen, I'm making things happen in the mock draft war room as we speak. Like, trust me, I'm getting things done. Getting things done.
You know, the Saints, they had a lot of moves today. One of the things that I kind of thought was going to happen, Andrew, was Michael Thomas has been rumored, and Derek Carr. He had his press conference Saturday, and he talked about Michael Thomas talking to him, and he was fired up about having Michael Thomas on the team, it seemed like. So I thought the Michael Thomas deal might get done today, but it didn't. Where's your sense of Michael Thomas, Andres Pete? Like, where's your sense of those guys? Because they did Jameis, right? He did a reduction in pay, and he's coming back, which is stunning. We'll get to that in a second. But where's your sense of Michael Thomas and Andres Pete as to if they'll come back on reduced salaries for the Saints?
Yeah, I think at this point it's trending towards both of them coming back on a more team-friendly deal. They're both open to it, but these things are hard to kind of get to the finish line. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why you see Mickey kind of redoing some deals, and he's got to get under the cap. I mean, that's a must. He really doesn't have a choice there. I think Jameis might have been the last hurdle. I think they might officially be cap compliant now.
That's right.
I haven't looked at the numbers and you figured it out exactly, but they're really close with that redo of Jameis's deal. But, you know, I think Pete and Michael Thomas are both going to stay. I mean, I'll be honest, like where they're at right now, I think they kind of have to keep them because the team has too many needs. Otherwise, I think they have to keep Pete and Thomas and hope that they can be healthy. And, you know, here's the thing, like, that's the part about the salary cap when you joke about, you know, a lot of the nerds joke about the Saints being in a tough spot, but I do think the way the Saints have managed the cap, it has kind of forced them to hang on to contracts and hang on to aging players maybe a little bit longer than
whatever you do in your cap, when you're paying dudes above $10 million a year, $12 million, they have to play at least. Like, and they might even in a sense of if they don't play as well as you hope, they have to play because if you have a $20 million player and he's not even playing every week, that is a gigantic hole on your roster that you're filling with probably a minimum salary guy.
Am I supposed to like feel excited? Like, I mean, like, are you guys excited about this free agency so far? This offseason?
I mean, no. I think it's gone, Dave. I think it's gone very. I think it's gone really very badly for the Saints. In that,
this is terrible.
I think it hasn't. It's worked out badly in this sense. Like every year, and I think this is like the 10th consecutive year where I just totally misjudge free agency and I like, oh, this position is people are gonna pay out the nose for this, and this other position they're not. Like I was thinking, the Saints will be able to get defensive tackles because defensive tackles that don't really pass rush, teams aren't going to pay for that. Like the Saints will be able to get two fat guys, and Onyemata will be back, and I was completely wrong about that. But the one really interesting thing, Dave, and I don't know, Kevin, you jumped into this too, is they didn't have a receiver signed today, day one of free agency. Like, I wonder, like, if the receiver market in free agency in general sucks, like, I think you can make an argument that if the receiver market sucks for free agency, it's even worse for the guy that hadn't played in 3 years, and Michael Thomas. So, like, that might be a silver lining of this crappy day in free agency, Kevin, where like no receivers signed. So like Michael Thomas might have no market at all, and he's just got to come back to the Saints because no one else is going to be willing to pay him.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is out there calling wide receivers, trying to convince him to come to the Jets with him.
No, he's calling Randall Cobb, Dave. That's who he's calling.
Greg Jennings.
Greg. Put him on your back, dog. Put him on your back. But Kevin, are you feeling as a prisoner of the moment as me? This free agency day, it's terrible for. It's terrible.
No.
You don't feel that way, Kevin? I do feel that. I feel like this is like. I feel like we're in like football purgatory. I don't know.
Kevin's excited because he's already thinking about the comp picks next year.
Right.
For all the free agents that we've lost, he's like, yes, draft picks, comp picks.
Yeah.
Like Scrooge McDuck and the money bags diving in all those picks.
Can somebody explain to me how the Saints in the chat in the chat? Can somebody explain to me how the Saints Armstead signs for $70 million, Marcus Williams signs for like $60 million, and the Saints sign Andy Dalton to a 1-year, $3 million deal, and they lose a 4th-round comp because of it? Like, explain it to me. Make it make sense. But I know, Kevin, you're excited about them.
Yes, I am. I just
Kevin's
at this point
doing mock drafts in the middle of our podcast.
Yes, I am. With all these vacancies, it's basically you have to trade down. You have to trade down.
You don't.
You have
you need to trade up. You need to get the guy on your board that's 15 that's still there at 20. No, you're thinking all wrong, Kevin. You need to trade up to make sure you get one of the top 3 defensive tackles in the draft.
Kevin has found a way to trade the entire draft so that he picks every pick in the 4th round. 1 through 32 that belongs to the Saints, and he's traded everything else.
I can try to finagle that. Give me some time. I can try that. But what I'm saying is we now have definitive needs on the edge, the interior defensive line. We still need another cornerback. We still need another safety. We still need a running back.
Yes.
We need at least 1 wide receiver, may need 2. We probably need another tight end. We definitely need a guard for sure, probably 2.
Wow.
What am I missing?
I think that about covers it.
Did
you say linebacker? We probably need a backup linebacker.
Yeah, probably need a linebacker.
Yeah, so there we go. Look, I'll go hunting for Dorian Williams.
I'm saying, let's look at this a different way for a second. How many positions would you say right now the Saints don't need anybody? It's quarterback and
quarterback?
Maybe
tackle.
Maybe tackle. Yeah.
That's it.
Quarterback and tackle. That's it.
And even tackle's unsettled because the only reason you wouldn't do anything at tackle is because you have Ramczyk, Penning, and Hurst. But like Penning is still a giant question, right? You don't know. But people are saying I'm cringe in the chat. Thank you on Confetti WAP. But I'm going to be positive here. I'm going to spin it positive, Andrew. Is maybe the defensive line market, the defensive tackle market getting out of whack and getting crazy. Maybe it has forced the Saints to do something they wouldn't have otherwise done, where they lost Shai Tuttle, they lost Onyemata, they lost Davenport, where if the market had been sort of normal and as we expected, maybe they bring back Onyemata at 3 years, $20 million, right? And they're paying him $7 million a year. They bring back Shai Tuttle on a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. And then they're like, we're okay at defensive line. Now they're sort of forced to do the work to make it better, where the comfortable, easy decision would have just been to keep the guys you have and kind of build on it. And maybe they'll play better and they'll get healthy and blah, blah, blah. But now you got to do the hard decision. Maybe this is the hard.
Well, I mean, yeah, I hear you. Again, Ellis was the one that hurt the most for me, and he's your 3rd linebacker, and I just don't think you can justify paying that to a 3rd linebacker. Like, if you ask me my evaluation of Davenport last year, he had half a sack, for God's sake.
That's right.
I just don't see, he needed to go. Like, it was time to part ways with him, and in a contract
But he had that 9-sack season.
Well, no, he was good in 2021. And so we had all these expectations. I remember we would talk on this podcast about
He
hey,
lost
man,
the finger, and he was going to make him better.
Yeah, this is a contract year. Like, he's going to go gangbusters this year. He's going to be available. He's going to play, and like, he's playing for a contract.
Can you imagine if he'd have had 2 sacks?
Somehow he had the worst season of his career, and he parlayed that into a 1-year, $13 million deal.
Can you imagine, Dave, if he'd have had 4 sacks?
Yeah,
he would have $40 million a year.
He would have gotten ownership rights, Ralph, if he had gotten 4 sacks. But Onyemata, he's 30 years old, and he was disappointing. I'll be honest, Onyemata has never looked the same after he failed that drug test.
Juice.
We got off the juice, and he's never looked the same. And now he's 30 years old, and like, in a vacuum, you tell me, like, are you giving him $12 million a year for 3 years? I would be like, no way.
Thomas,
no way
put
I
up
would
a
pay
poll.
him that.
Put up a poll in the chat.
And I'm sorry, but like, I don't care what Carolina paid Shy Tuttle. Like, he is replaceable. You can draft a dude in the 3rd round that can give you the same production as Shy Tuttle.
More disappointing, Onyemata off the juice or Dave sober? Put a poll in the chat.
I'm going with push there.
Yeah. Jason Champagne said they signed him for $26 million per sack for 2022. My God.
That's pretty
The Saints actually did some interesting things. It was funny. Like, they have all these cap issues. The Saints gave JT Gray, their special teams ace, they gave him 3 years, $10 million, which is just so Saint. I know his cap hits like $1, but that was fun.
Dave, you are destroying Onyemata in this poll, by the way.
Yeah.
88% currently.
The newest Falcon.
Oh.
I have
Onyemata
to
off
say,
the
Dave,
juice only has 1 vote, and that was me.
I have to say, Dave, I saw the tight end. I saw a tight end that had 12 catches last year, got 3 years, $21 million, and from the Vikings. So that made me think the Juwan Johnson deal that the Saints gave him is incredible.
Can we get is Foster Moreau still available? Can we get him?
He is.
And I know there's some talk about like him following Derek Carr, maybe, and him coming back to Louisiana. That would be cool. Turns out I know his dad. I didn't know that I know his dad.
Oh,
he was also a Jesuit boy.
Yeah,
You could start rivaling Juge for sources.
No, I'm not. But I didn't realize I've known his dad for a few years.
Juwan Johnson, like, that's surprising to me. I mean, granted, I know it's tricky because he was an exclusive rights free agent. Speaking of which, Dave, your nemesis, Hail Mary catcher, Marquez Callaway, the Saints aren't going to tender him. Are you going to be sad if he leaves? He's probably going to be a Falcon any minute.
No, I'm fine. We're keeping Michael Thomas. We've got, Rashid Shaheed now. We've got Jarvis Landry. We're a little deeper. Yeah, he's signed. He's got another year.
Poor Marquez.
Man,
Thomas, you're being mean to Marquez.
This tape that Thomas put together for Callaway is absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Thomas.
Oh, there's a
It's a Panthers game.
Yeah.
Thomas is just like, he's gone, he's dead to me. I'm gonna roast him.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Wow.
It's the same thing as like Caden Ellis. Like, he's your 4-string guy. I don't know. Even though it's just a tender offer. I mean, I know it's not.
Oh, my God. That drop was terrible.
Whew. That is a horrific drop.
Oh.
I want to go around the horn before we get to our next topic. What is one, if I said to you, once free agency settles down after Wednesday, Thursday, Saints are going to make their first signing. You don't have to give me a name, but you got to give me a position. What position do you want the Saints to add in free agency as their first free agent? Dave, I'll start with you. Go.
What position?
What position?
Defensive line. I'll take anything on the defensive line.
Anything. Just a warm body is fine.
Yeah, Dave would be fine with missionary at this point. I would take. I would take
If you
running
come,
back still.
You best come hard.
I would. Damian Harris and Jamal Williams. I've been kind of vocal about those two. To me, those are like the two guys that I just see as violent runners that have scored a lot of touchdowns, effective in the red zone. And, when you look at what you need to complement Alvin Kamara, to me, those are two guys that like fit it to a T. And I don't know what the running back market's going to do. I don't know if the Saints can afford them. But
Daniel in the chat says Calais Campbell. My God, Daniel, if the Saints have 35-year-old Calais Campbell on one side and 35-year-old Cam Jordan on the other, it's just going to be like watch Wapner and take you soup at 5, your defensive end. I mean,
I had to hit the rum again after that suggestion.
He might be older.
Their defensive ends will be so seasoned, they'll literally be a bottle of Tony Satcher.
But so running back, I mean, I'd love to see him make a move there, but the correct answer is what Dave said. Defensive tackle specifically.
Kevin, are you looking at contracts?
I mean, they just got gutted.
No, I am currently trying to get as many 4th-round picks as I can in the mock draft machine. So I'm working a lot of deals right here. But so free agent deal before the draft, like who do I want first?
Yeah, who do you want?
It's got to be something on defense. It has to. It's got to be. If you get one good defensive signing before the draft, I feel like you can pave over whatever sort of bad vibe today has brought.
But you know what they need? You know what they need, Andrew? They need like 2 Alex Okafor signings. Remember Alex Okafor? They signed him in like May. And I remember like Andrew called me up. He's like, they got Alex Okafor. He's going to be so good. Arizona played him out of position. The Saints will play him at end. He's going to be good, Ralph. And I was like, get the frick out of here with this. And he was. He was good. He was good for the Saints for 2 years. They need just like good, like 2 good functional defensive line. Like that's just get me that. Thomas, before we get to the next segment, give us a donation update.
So we had only one new donation from Jason Champagne, who gifted a tier 1 sub to New York Saint 51. So
thank you, Jason.
Tiger Saint is still in the lead for the MVP of the show.
Thanks to everybody for signing up. We had just an incredible week last week because of David Carr signing and all that. It was an incredible week with downloads.
His name is Derek.
We're on pace for like 35,000 downloads. When you add in YouTube and Twitch, it's going to be like 50,000 views of the podcast in March. It's just incredible. So thank you guys. Become a patron. Go to saintshappyhour.com.
Thomas, you have to lift me saying his name is Derek. and that's now a sound clip for the show, so I don't even need to say it. You can just hit the button,
Hey, Tomas, check the timestamp on this.
So, new Saints quarterback and regional Honda sales leader Derek Carr was introduced to the media, and he had lots of not interesting things to say. But I tasked Thomas to find 100 seconds that won't put us to sleep. And Thomas, you did that. You found sound of Derek Carr being not boring. So play it.
It starts in April, and it starts in training camp. Us putting the work in, being put in uncomfortable situations by the coaches. Practice is going to be hard, especially against these guys on defense. It should be so hard so that when the game happens, you're used to going against that hard of a look, that tough of a situation. And everyone's, heart rates are a little bit lower. While the Superdome may be loud, and hopefully on offense they're a little quieter than some of the Raider games were on offense. But for us, it's just going to come down to execution and playing good football. Nothing special. Just everyone literally just do your job, and then we'll go see what happens at the end of it. Explosive. they're very explosive, very, very competitive. I'm really excited to, have all those guys run down the field and just check one down to Alvin just to see what he can do. That'll be fun. I'm excited to watch, Taysom run the football, and have the ball in his hands. I'm excited to watch those guys run down the field, with their speed and athleticism and, and Jawan, the athleticism that he has as a tight end and the way he can move. And, there's just so much potential, but that doesn't mean anything, So you make a decision based on what you think it can be, but then you got to go make it that. And so, when you watch them on film, though, it's hard not to get excited. It's hard not to be, for Saints fans, it's hard not to be excited about, the roster and, what Mickey and DA have put together here. It's exciting.
Is this over yet? Oh my God!
Yeah,
he was giving away all of our plays. The Alvin Kamara check down, the Taysom Hill run. Jesus, we don't have a chance next year.
What's with he said, I think he said, about 57 times.
Kevin, the popped collar is
yeah,
it's a
he's
choice.
Making a run.
It's a loop.
He's making a run at Andrew Juge on the bougie competition.
Well, I was gonna ask, does this look worse than Drew Brees' shirt at his press conference?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's not worse than that.
Listen, I don't care if Andrew Christopher looked like he was dressed by his mother before going to middle school on that day.
He was wearing a shower curtain.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't care. I don't care if he looked like Homer Simpson in that episode where he tried to weigh 300 pounds to go on disability. I don't care if the
fashion
shirt was
coordinator
that it looked like a damn moo-moo. This is
my fashion coordinator, aka the woman who dresses me every day. She saw Derek Carr's collar and said that's unacceptable.
Correct.
So I'm just saying.
It looks like he's wearing a fleece.
It looks like he's wearing
like a Nike.
It's like a short. It looks like a short sleeved fleece.
It looks like he was wearing, like they handed him a Saints shirt and he put it over whatever he was wearing.
Right. He looks like he's about to go make that vote of no confidence against Chancellor Valorum in episode 1. It's a reference for that hopefully only Alfredo's going to get.
It also looks too small for him.
Yeah, it does.
What are you guys talking about?
Maybe he got fat.
He's got all the kids named Z too. They've started their names.
How many po' boys has he had since he came to New Orleans?
Where do you think?
I heard that he took his kids to he went to a chain restaurant like after the Pelicans game, and people were outraged. But I'm like, that dude's got 4 kids, man.
Yeah,
like let him go to the chain.
Right,
let him
we
go
taking those kids to fucking Commanders, man.
What? I wonder what part of town he's gonna live in.
Right, I mean, you saw the cake the Saints gave him. You think he knows to go to the hot seafood places? You think he's going? Well, Mike Anderson's doesn't exist anymore, but whatever the Mike Anderson's equivalent is, you think somebody's sending him to Mike Anderson's?
Mike Anderson still exists.
Fried gator tail?
In Baton Rouge, not in
in Baton Rouge. Yeah.
So,
so that was the most exciting 100 seconds of Derek Carr. Wow.
Thomas was like, this is the hardest thing you've ever had me do.
Yeah. Post-game press conferences, we're going to have to listen to Dennis Allen and then that. Jesus. After a loss, it's going to be, my God, I'm going to play that for my kids to go to sleep.
They better win every game. They have no choice.
I again, like, I don't know if now's the time to talk about Jameis, but I have to say, I can't believe the Saints didn't bite the bullet and just say, you know what, like, let's just go ahead and cut him now. Take the $4 million in cap space. I can't believe that they approached him about a pay cut. I can't believe Jameis accepted the pay cut. So, Jameis was going to make, I think it was $15 million this year. And if the Saints cut him, they were going to save about $4.5 million. So he would have been $10 million in dead money. My understanding is that they brought him all the way down to a 1-year, $4 million deal with incentives that I assume are attached to playing time. They can get him up to $8 million. Now, if all goes well, Jameis will never see the field, right? And Carr will be your starter the whole season, and so he won't see any of those incentives. I mean, maybe some of them are just attached to being on the active roster. I don't know, but 1 year, $4 million that's probably what he's seeing, most likely.
Yeah, but he'll get $4 million. I'm sorry to cut you off. So he'll get $4 million just for riding the pine,
right,
and doing nothing. So basically, pay everywhere.
Well, yeah, right. Good reference. I like that reference. But so the Saints will save a lot of money. So it's a cap move. It's a cap move to save the Saints a lot of money, and it gives them a lot more flexibility than cutting him. So financially, it's really nice for the Saints because they get to keep a pretty good quarterback to back up Derek Carr.
But you got to pour one out for the ginger.
You got to pour one out for the ginger because the Andy Dalton dream is dead now. But so they get to keep Jameis, and he's a good back. He's probably the best backup in the league, honestly.
Honestly, I on a football level, Dave, I 100% like this move. I think Jameis is an elite backup.
Yeah,
but
but here's the thing, Ralph. Jameis's agent poked around and was like, "Hey, who's interested? What would you be willing to pay?" And if he's staying with the Saints for $4 million,
nothing.
He knows he wasn't getting an opportunity to start for.
He's been injured for 2 years in a row. I told the Jameis people before the show, I was like,
his market must have been nothing.
He's done. People were telling me, the Jameis people, Dave, were like, no. He made this decision. His market was way better. And I flat out told him, I was like, stop it. I'm blocking you. I am not putting up with this. I'm not putting up with this. Last year I put up with it. They're like, he was going to fly to Indianapolis. They had the jet ready to go, and he was good. He had options. He could have been a Colt. He had way more options than you ever understand, cripple man. You don't understand. And I was like, fine, maybe. This year, no, Dave. No, I don't want to hear. That's the only downside of Jameis coming back. The Jameis people are insufferable. I hate them. But I like Jameis. He's a good dude. He's going to be a good backup for the Saints.
But I think are we all in agreement here? Like, this is it. His career, his NFL career is over. This is like a horse going to whatever farm or whatever.
I don't know, man. Like,
like a racehorse is done racing. He's just going to go and have sex a few times or whatever.
Would it not be the Saintsiest thing ever, though? Would it not be the Saintsiest thing ever for Derek Carr to go like 5-6? Blow out his knee, and lo and behold, Jameis comes in and they freaking win out, go to the playoffs, and now we've got Derek Carr.
And win a playoff game.
Yeah. He wins a playoff game, and then a year later, you're like trying to decide between Carr coming back on that massive deal and a torn ACL, or Jameis, a free agent who just tore it up. Like that is like the Saintsiest thing I've ever heard.
That breaks the Saintsy scale.
Jameis one would be insufferable.
Hey, Tomas, check the timestamp on
I'm
this.
expecting this, honestly. And you know what? I won't turn my nose up at it.
No.
Jameis Winston gets me to the playoffs.
Any playoffs. But hey, Geno Smith went like 9 years without playing and just got like a 3-year, $100 million deal. So I guess anything is possible.
Okay, Juge, I can get right now 19 fourth-round picks. I might be able to get it up to 21. But I don't think I can get all the picks.
Did you have to burn future assets to get current fourth-round picks, though?
Do you want me to start doing that?
I mean, it's up to you.
Would that get us all 32?
I could try to finagle that.
Can you start burning some assets in 2024 to get?
I'll start doing it.
How many fourth-round picks can we get for Peyton Turner?
2024 if you have to.
Give it up.
I'll start doing it.
How many first-round picks can we get for Peyton Turner?
I mean,
the problem is I'm left only with teams that have just one extra pick in the fourth round. So it's like, I'm basically trading like something from next year just to get a fourth rounder this year. Sorry to interrupt you guys.
How many fourth-round picks do we have to give a team for them to take Peyton Turner?
Yeah, a lot of picks. The chat is very upset at you, Andrew. They don't like your nightmare scenario. They don't even like you putting that into the ether.
Yeah. No,
putting that
it's
out
terrible.
there. I feel like
I mean, is it not weird that Jameis Winston is still a Saint?
it is so weird.
I'm
How
stunned.
Weird that he's still in the league, to be quite honest.
How
with
the
you.
like the thing is, man, all the Saints media people, from Nick Underhill to the people at NOLA.com to the Cat Terrell, all of them just gushed about Andy. He's got a photographic memory. They love him. He's going to come back and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, yeah, Jameis is coming back. Jameis took a massive pay cut and got the Saints $10 million of cap space, and he's coming back. Like,
Well, I mean, the Saints must have known, right? That like, oh yeah, he's not going to get anything.
no, 100%.
Like no
I mean,
one's
you-
interested.
I mean, you just make. I think general managers. It's not necessarily collusion, but they talk and they know. I do think. I think Mickey Loomis played the Derek Carr thing really well, and I think he kind of played the Jameis thing really well, and he might play Michael Thomas really well because the wide receiver market sucks, and this it's just the defensive tackle market went to hell, and the Saints kind of got the shaft there. Everybody on the defense exited stage left for Atlanta's money. Thomas, before we get to the next topic, who is in the lead for the donation?
Tiger Saint is still in the lead with 3,000 bits, but Jason Champagne is right behind him with a new donation of big 1K bits.
So
Wow.
So
Were you
normally-
guys? Did you guys notice? I was surprised by this. The backup quarterback market was hot on day one. I mean, Sean Payton. He quickly moved for Jarrett Stidham, which was weird, but I mean, he's insurance for Russell Wilson, and Stidham had a good last game against the Raiders, so maybe that was a
one
decent
good
pickup.
game got Stidham $5 million.
Yeah,
one good game.
Sam Darnold's already got a deal. Baker Mayfield has numerous suitors. So yeah, like kind of like the bad quarterback market.
That could have been the Saints if
Mike
Derek Carr
White
went to
already
the
got a
Jets.
deal.
Yeah.
Mike White got
Like
2 years,
2 years.
$16 million.
I mean,
Yeah.
what is going on with the shitty quarterbacks?
Dave, and like Tua's probably already concussed. So Mike
Right.
White is
No, they needed to get somebody decent behind Tua.
So listen, normally we don't. It's a Saints podcast. We'll talk about major NFL news, not a little bit, but not too much. But the thing is, I want to talk about this. Carolina trades up to the number 1 pick. They mortgaged everything not nailed down, Kevin, so they can select the milkman, Will Levis. According to Juju's sources say they love Will Levis. The rest of NFL is like they're picking C.J. Stroud, but Andrew,
I've heard a couple Anthony Robertson rumors also.
Is it Anthony Robertson or Richardson? That'd be good.
that guy. Yeah, I just went full Ralph.
Well, I mean, Kevin,
Ralph can't say anyone's name right.
If the Panthers draft a person that is allegedly scared of the sight of milk, I mean, is it the most fun opposing quarterback that we've ever had in the NFC South? I think it might be.
Yeah, because look, here's the thing: if he doesn't start, everybody in the end zone can absolutely make signs that are in the shape of milk cartons.
Yeah, we can put them up on the
Levis's
screen.
face on them and saying, "Have you seen this boy?" And just wave him around all game long. Like,
well,
maybe we could just like on the big screen during the game, like just show a video of like milk getting poured.
The play here is you talk to the equipment managers and you get them to fill the Gatorade thing, the container with milk.
That's dirty.
Powdered milk.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't there a word for
That's the
people
play.
that are afraid of milk? Somebody in the chat put it in there. What's that?
Yeah, hang on.
Gallophobia.
Oh yeah, we talked about that last. Gallophobia. I think that's dirty pool, but I'm for it. I have to say, Dave, like Carolina making this move, like it gets me excited. I know Atlanta's done a lot of stuff today. They got Jesse Bates and did a bunch of stuff, and they signed a bunch of Saints players, obviously. But like, I still feel good about. There's nobody I don't know if the Saints are head and shoulders above everybody in the NFC South now because they've lost some guys. They have to do some stuff. But I still feel great about there's nobody in the NFC South that's clearly better than the Saints.
Yeah, like you can't tell me that Nielsen, Onyemata, and Caden Ellis fixes Atlanta.
Right.
I feel like Caden Ellis returning to the Saints in 2025 after he's mediocre and injured is. But Kevin, how many second round picks do you have currently?
Fourth round picks, you mean?
Fourth round.
I currently have 25.
25.
25 of the 32.
25 of the. Let's see. I'm missing
madman.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm missing 9 picks in the fourth round.
Kevin, do you have picks in any other round?
In the 2023 draft, no.
Yes. Well done.
I currently have just 3 picks left in 2024 and 4 picks left in 2025. I am struggling to make this work. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the entire fourth round.
The Wicker
here.
Man says
Stop
if the
it.
Panthers
Get some help.
draft Levis, we need to start serving milk punch at the Dome.
I wonder what the hit rate is on fourth round picks. Like, how many fourth round picks do you think were good this past season?
I don't know. You have to go to Wikipedia and look for the highlighted ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna look this up.
So, before we get to,
by the way, just since we're off topic, did you guys know my son, because he has a friend Yummy who decided he's going to become a Seattle Sea Dragons fan in the XFL?
Did you just say Yummy?
That's his nickname. Yeah, everybody calls him Yummy. But so
I love how you said that so nonchalantly, like we wouldn't stop you and ask for an explanation.
I didn't think about it, but I guess you're right. When you hear
Yummy,
when you hear it for the first time, it's weird. Anyway, so his friend just for some reason became a Seattle Sea Dragons fan in the XFL. And so now my son Dylan is now a Seattle Sea Dragons fan. So whenever they're on TV on the weekends, we watch the game. But so I was watching it this weekend. Do you know who the head coach of the Seattle Sea Dragons?
Is it Greg Williams?
No.
Jim Haslett?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's Haslett.
I started dying laughing when they showed him on the sideline. It was.
How's
great.
he looking? How's he looking?
He looks fine. He looks he looks all right. He looks all right. It was wild. It was so I'm now the third Sea Dragons fan.
Were they committing false starts and
no,
being terrible on defense?
No, they were doing all right. I think they're like a middling team in the league, but there's only like 7 teams in the league or whatever. But do they play on a larger field in the XFL? Is the field bigger? It looked
no. The fields are the same. The fields are the
cool
same.
Kickoff where they
they have the extra point system and all that kind of. But anyway.
So I want to remind people
real quick. I'm looking at last year's fourth round picks.
Okay, give it to us. How many?
And there was a couple interesting ones, like Bailey Zapp of the Patriots, the quarterback, was taken in the fourth round.
Zapp's potato chips.
There's a few others. Neil Farrell of LSU that played for the Raiders. He was a fourth round pick. So yeah, there's a few. Like if you go down the list,
good. I know he played for LSU, but
yeah. But the first 2 picks, like out of the gate, I looked at the first 2 fourth round picks and I was like, ooh. So the first was Cade Otton, who was started for the Bucs for a while at tight end. He was decent. And number 2 was Dameon Pierce, the running back of the Texans.
Oh, here you go.
So like out of the gate, I saw those first 2 picks and I'm like, oh, I'm really liking this strategy. But then after that, you got Cade York, you got Bailey Zapp. So you got a couple it's not that exciting, honestly. I don't know if I love this draft strategy.
Hang on. Gentlemen.
Oh, he did it. You son of a bitch. You did it.
Hang on.
The son of a bitch did it.
I have done it.
You crazy son.
I have traded every single other pick from 2024 and 2025, but I did it. I have the entire fourth round of the 2023 NFL draft.
All right, so we're not picking again for 2 years.
No.
Wow.
No.
So can you simulate this draft and let's see who you draft with those 32 picks?
I will do that. I'm going to take a screenshot of all of the picks just sitting there, and I'm going to put it in the.
Can you take 32 defensive tackles?
Yes.
Brother, I can take anything.
No, 16 defensive tackles, 16 defensive ends.
I can take anything. I'm making a whole new football team here. That's what I'm doing. This is perfect.
So I want to remind
The
people,
Kevin expansion draft.
Yeah.
if you enjoy the podcast, please support the podcast. You can sub for free with Amazon Prime every month, not just once. It's in the description. Thomas has a link and also a link to how to do it. It's a two-minute process. If you have Amazon Prime, do it. You can subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. You can support the show. As Kevin does the fourth round.
Hold on, Ralph. Dave, did you see that the second free agency was open? In fact, I think before free agency was open, Sean Payton pounced all over Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
What does that say about the guy? Loves him.
And not only that, Andrew, he said every Denver receiver, you can get him in a trade. Like he's going Little Jordan, Andy Tanner, Traquan, like Tommy Lee Lewis, Denver, get ready for mediocre receivers. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Marquez Callaway is going to Denver.
Callaway.
You can take that shit to the bank right now.
I mean, you could get that
Tomas,
Broncos
check the
Callaway
timestamp
jersey.
on
You
this.
can take that. You can take that shit to the Silicon Valley Bank right now. Done deal.
Keith Kirkwood, yeah.
It's
Mike
topical.
Bagger. Austin Carr.
So, as Kevin works on his Mona Lisa of a fourth round mock draft, Thomas, hit the music. Take us to the top. Thomas, hit us up. What we got?
Okay, we got some banger questions this week. First one from Vic.
Banger.
He asks,
Bang.
is Dave not excited about new Saints QB situation because he actually is Dave Carr Yellow and he doesn't want to work with Pete Carmichael?
Cariello. That's good. Yeah, David Cariello. That should be a shirt.
How have we never thought of this before?
Because we're not smart or funny. No, I'm not excited about the QB situation. I don't know. Could have had Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G.
Can you explain to me how the Raiders decide, you know what, we're done with Derek Carr. We're moving on.
Yeah.
We want Jimmy Garoppolo. Can you explain that thought process?
The only thing I can think of, Andrew, is they couldn't, like, they got Carolina outbid them and they couldn't move up to 1. And now they're like, God, get Jimmy G in.
Well,
Like, that's
I mean,
my
maybe
only-
they're still drafting a guy, right?
Maybe. Like,
Yeah.
Richardson feels like such a Raiders pick. And such a, like
true.
Josh McDaniels, by the way, Josh McDaniels, Andrew, I'm going to steal your thunder because you tweeted this to me and I had forgotten. That man is a quarterback selecting disaster. He traded away Smoking Jay Cutler, burned both of the picks, just set him on fire for Tebow, for other ones. Then he did something else too before David Carr. I forgot, but he
drafted Tebow.
Yeah, I said that, but
Did you say that?
There was one one that I forgot about.
Let's see. He right before Peyton Hillis went nuts, he traded Peyton Hillis for Brady Quinn.
Wow. Well, right before Peyton Hillis got on the cover of Madden, he traded.
Yeah. And then he also, I mean, he traded for a post back surgery Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Thomas. Let's see.
Also, Ben DiNucci is the quarterback of the Sea Dragons.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice Italian fella.
Whoa.
I forgot that nugget.
I think it's time for us to admit that McDaniels is potentially horrible.
Terrible, yes. And Derek Carr leading the Saints to the Super Bowl in Vegas, and Mark Davis sitting there bald, sad,
Yeah.
just looking for a new coach because he just fired McDaniels after they go 3-13-1. Like that scenario, it's in play.
Also, before we ask the next question, should we talk about Nick Wright?
Yeah, we should. Nick Wright, what a douchebag. Nick Wright, like, here's the thing.
Do we have the tweets? Can Thomas put the tweets up?
He got into a little slap fight on Twitter with
we had a little Nick on Nick crime.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing.
A Nick off.
Like you can criticize the Saints for a ton of stuff. Like they're declining. They haven't drafted necessarily. You can argue they haven't drafted well. Philadelphia's got a top 10 pick, for God's sakes, from the Saints. There is a ton you can criticize the Saints, a ton. But like how they run the salary cap is not it. And like Nick Wright clearly doesn't understand the salary cap. And Underhill, like I think Underhill, you could name any Saints player and he would know their salary, their base salary, their
stop
cap
talking.
hit.
Shut down the podcast. Turn it off. Stop talking, Ralph. It's over. Shut it down. Jason Champagne has won. I declare him the winner. He just said he lost a Nick measuring contest with Underhill.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Good job.
Nick off. Somebody called him. He called him Nick wrong.
It's over. It's over, Ralph.
It's just annoying.
Show's
but
over.
here's the thing, Dave.
Nick measuring contest.
Jono Barnes. Is that how you say? Is that how you?
Jono. My God.
Jono Barnes, friend of the program, cut an open for us. He made a great point, Dave, that we are depending on Dennis Allen.
Friend of the podcast. Oh no.
We are depending on Dennis Allen to save us from the cap nerds dunking on us this year. Because if the Saints go backwards, they're going to just dunk and dunk and dunk on us. And Nick Wright started it. And now we're depending on Dennis Allen to save us. And it's
disconcerting.
Yeah, and you should be worried. Nick Wright, yeah, he looks like Tom
Green.
Well, he looks like the love child of Tom Green and Adam Driver to me. It looks
he really does.
Looks more like a combination of those two.
He looks like Count Dooku from the Clone Wars cartoon. And I sent Tomas a screenshot of that, and I really think the similarity is it's uncanny valley.
Jesus Christ.
Damn nice resolution, man.
Look, what do you want from me?
Dude,
holy shit.
So we don't have anything. We don't have anything to show.
That's a rough quality, man.
Right. Well, dude. I looked into this guy. Here it is. Yeah, he does. Oh, he does look like that guy. Okay, he does look like that guy.
Nailed it.
I mean, I was kind of following along. I looked into the guy. I mean, like, he also covers basketball. He's also like an NBA guy. So he's not really.
And he says LeBron is better than Jordan if you take away all the rings.
I mean, it kind of looks silly to go at somebody who covers one team and one team.
Take away the championships and the MVP and the winning.
Yeah. Marino is better than Brady if you take away the rings.
LeBron is better than.
That being said, today's free agency so far,
it's shit. It's not a good look for the Saints.
It is right. It is round one goes to Nick wrong.
What is with Budwich just put it in the chat? Some guy named Dalvin Tomlinson got 4 years, $57 million, $28 million guaranteed from the Browns.
Wow.
What do the NFL, the general managers get together and like, what position are we going to spend recklessly on this year? And they're just like, pick the name. They're like, defensive tackle it is.
I got to be honest, Ralph. First of all, you get this wrong every year. You're like,
I do.
Defensive tackle market's going to be soft. First of all, let this be the lesson once and for all that you don't know what you're talking about. And that every year you're wrong. All right. So first of all.
But hey, sign up and become a patron.
Yeah. And I swear to God, every year we do this. Every year we do this, Dave. Tell me I'm wrong. Ralph goes, he got what? Every offseason, it's like he can't believe the contract. He's like, this guy got what? It's like, dude, the salary cap goes up every year. Of course,
dude, Butters, that's mean. He called me the Jim Cramer of free agency guessing. Wow, that's hurtful.
Accurate AF.
Jim Cramer's daughter went to Tulane.
It's hurtful, but it's true. My takes don't have to be right. You don't have to. People don't become a patron because I'm right. Become a patron because we're entertaining and make you laugh. To be right. We're not the weathermen, for God's sakes. Thomas.
Next question.
They're not right either.
Next question: which offensive player and which defensive player from the Ditka era would help our current team the most? Asks Bulky.
Leroy Glover, final answer.
Yeah, I answered this in the I commented on it. I said either Leroy Glover or I think it was Sammy Knight, but I lean Leroy Glover because it's the defensive line. And then offensively, I would have just said Ricky Williams.
Oh,
Norman Hand.
You know, here's the thing I will say about defensive tackle.
He's not.
Like, what defensive tackle have they had in the entire Sean Payton era that has actually been good? Like, think about this for a second.
Onyemata.
When the year they won the Super Bowl, they had Cedric Ellis, they had Remy Ayadel, and Anthony Hargrove, who was a UDFA and just like was a total flash in the pan and miraculously was pretty good. Right?
Nick Fairley.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Nick Fairley before the heart problems.
Who was good at defensive tackle for more than 1 year?
Oh, for more
Kevin Williams.
Hollis Thomas.
I mean, my point is they've been getting away with smoke and mirrors for longer than we can remember. Rankins was good for a couple years.
Right, that's it.
Rankins was really good 2018 before they carted him off.
I'm just saying, like, pick a defensive tackle at 29.
No, the answer from the Ditka era, it's Wayne Martin because he can play defensive tackle or defensive end. Like he's the correct.
Oh yeah, but Wayne Martin was washed by then, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't. One of the Ditka years, he had 10 sacks. Broderick Bunkley. Oh my God!
I forgot about these guys.
Bunkley was a Hazlitt guy.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
Yeah, who did they sign the year 2011? The
Tyler Davidson. Wow.
Abreu Franklin and
another Falcons defector.
Who was the other giant fat defensive tackle that they had in 2011? They had Abreu.
Sean Rogers.
Sean Rogers. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord have mercy.
Download image.
Next question.
Next question comes from Don Checo. And he asks, is the new Saints Happy Hour podcast drinking game take a shot every time Ralph says David Carr? How long before we black out?
We can't recommend that. We cannot recommend.
You would have had quite a few drinks on this episode.
Are you saying that we signed Derek, his brother?
No.
All this time, I thought it was David, based on Ralph.
We can't.
Ariella.
We can't encourage people to drink every time I say David Carr because that's
just irresponsible.
It's irresponsible. I mean, like we might have a show though. If every time I say it, I'll line up some shots and I'll do it, and we'll see if I can pass out and my wife can put a blanket over me and I can sleep in this room when I do the podcast. But no, we can't. Ooh, Jason Tamashani says Willie Whitehead, good Ditka era choice to fix it.
Ooh,
basically,
I would take Willie Whitehead. I would sign up for that.
Wait, Brian Young, yes. There's
Brian Young's still on the coaching staff.
I said Brian Young.
Short of like Sean Knight and Ted Gregory, like any defensive lineman, we're gonna be like, yes, great idea.
I mean, if the season started today, Taysom Hill is starting at defensive tackle.
Yeah, he is. Martin Chase, my God, that's a deep cut.
Next question.
All right, final question of the show from Saints Rebel. We haven't seen him live in a while. He asks, How excited were you all that Jameis 101 was finally going to go away until the Saints cock-blocked our hopes and dreams?
It's the worst part of the whole thing.
I mean, I blocked Jameis 101 so long ago, but his minions seep into my timeline. I feel like he's kind of defeated though, because Jameis, he's not. He couldn't even get a starting job.
Oh no, I've already got a DM from him telling me not to be a complete lunatic. That Winston could have received more. I'm nuts. He didn't even test free agency. Never spoke to teams, and there are 5 teams that still need a QB1. He could have taken the Dolphins' Mike White deal if he wanted. So
now I know.
He would have
he's
taken that
delusional.
deal in a fucking heartbeat. Stop.
He's delusional.
Stop with that. Get out of here.
Would the Dolphins have been offering it?
No. If Jameis had any sort of market at all, he wouldn't be that's the best he could do. He gave the Saints got what, $11 million in cap space off of it, basically. There's no way Jameis had any. He's been injured for 2 freaking years. Forget about his talent potential. He's been injured for 2 years. You can't have a backup quarterback, Kevin, that's injured all the time.
All right, Kevin's
got a shit-eating grin look on his face.
How many?
Kevin, I know he's completed the 4th round draft.
Kevin, before you give us your draft. Kevin, I have a Saints trivia for you.
Zoom in on the smile.
All right, is the only defensive tackle on the Saints roster right now? Is it A, Jonathan Stewart? Is it B, Brian Rogers? Is it C, Prince Emily? Or is it 4, Chaduke Omiyaroku?
Dude, that is a
Ralph
great.
ne peut pas dire le nom de quelqu'un correctement.
Hang on, give me that first name again. You're saying the only defensive tackle
On the Saints roster right now.
currently on the roster.
There's only one.
Give me the first name again.
There was a question in the chat at the beginning of the show, guys.
A was Jonathan Stewart.
The running back?
Don't look at the chat.
Stewart is a fairly common name.
B is Brian Rogers.
Right.
C is Prince Emily. And D is Chike Omiyaroku.
I don't think it's that guy.
I feel like Prince Emily is a made-up name.
I'm Prince Emily.
That's right.
Take D off the list. Take that one off the list.
Can you just pick one, please? So
and I don't think it's B. It's either A or C.
Great, pick one.
So it's either Jonathan Stewart or the Prince guy.
Do we have Jeopardy music?
I'm leaning
Jesus.
Jonathan Stewart.
Wrong.
Final answer.
It's Prince Emily.
Oh my God!
I try to throw you off the scent by saying a name slowly and weirdly. I thought you were like, oh, it's got to be that guy.
You got me. I would have said that one.
Yeah.
I like who that ambush with the Coming to America, and he's a fucking prince. He's got his own money.
Damn.
Do we have?
Hey, look, man, my process of elimination skills are still fairly good. I snuffed out 2 of them.
If Prince Emily is self-made, how does that work against the cap if we don't have to pay him?
Right. If we don't,
He pays his own cap hit.
Yeah.
all right.
Wait. So the draft. So can
That's right.
Can Thomas put up your 32 picks on the screen? Is that possible?
He needs to send them to me.
I thought you put it in Discord.
No. I did on the chat, but I can. So no. Hang on. I'll send the super long form version first, and now I will send all of the individual screenshots because
Jesus Christ, man.
Oh my God, Jesus,
Thomas doesn't have
Kevin.
that. We don't have that kind of time.
All right, yeah, just
Kevin.
give him one thing that has all the
We don't
picks.
have
and then
that
and
kind
while
of
Thomas
resolution doesn't exist,
Ralph,
man.
should we have a Prince Emily Cup?
Holy shit.
I feel like that's the next Saints Happy Hour Cup is Prince Emily,
Gotta make the team.
our
buddy.
only starting defensive tackle.
and while Thomas is
He's
putting
like, hey, he started off mopping floors. Now he's washing lettuce.
while
And he'll
Thomas
be
is-
on fries and then the grill. And in 2 years, he'll be a starter. And that's when the big bucks roll in.
I think this is gonna work better than just putting. Holy shit!
Oh my God.
So you got a lot of B's on these. Oh, we got Dorian Williams. There we go.
Yeah, I
This
made
is only
sure
the
just for
first
you, Dave.
screenshot,
That was my
guys.
first pick.
Dorian Gray.
That's the only thing that got a D. Everything else was B or B plus.
No,
No, those
No.
are the trades. All right.
those were the trades. Those were a bunch of the trades I made.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Are we
just,
ready for the next one?
Yeah.
yeah.
Holy
Keep-
shit!
wait, this- All
What do
right.
we got here?
Moro Ojomo, Isaiah McGuire, Michael Wilson, Kendre Miller, Jacqueline Roy,
Oh, we got an LSU defensive tackle. That gave you an A too. Nice.
Zach Harrison, Jair Brown, Zach Kuntz, Cam Jones, Aiden O'Connell, Chandler
D
Zavala.
minus F.
F.
I mean, because I was grabbing some guys early.
Alezi Gooden, Oluwatimi, Byron Young, Nathaniel Dell, Jartavius Martin, Jacorian Bennett.
First rounder. Holy shit!
Yeah, I said to somebody when they said they wanted the Saints to tank, I was like, it's going to take more than just not signing Derek Carr.
Oh, he got a Wingate punter. Did you see that?
Wow.
Kevin drafted a Wingate punter and then a Michigan kicker back to back.
Ethan Evans and Jake Moody.
Just because I wanted to get that taken care
This
of.
might be the most impressive, stupid Kevin's ever.
Luke
Trey
Schoonmaker,
Dean.
Parker Washington, KJ Henry,
Tank Dell.
Trey
I like
Dean
the
the
name.
third. It's so close to Trey down. It's so
I like how Ralph said that basically the only position that we were good at was quarterback and tackle, and Kevin took like 4 of them combined.
No. I took 2 quarterbacks and 2. Wait, did I take
Right,
2 tackles?
Four of them combined.
Yeah. Well, there
What
you
I
go.
said.
I mean,
Which one
how
of
many-
us is drinking again?
you had 32.
Listen,
32 fourth
I
round
had
picks.
32. I had 32 people to draft, and I got it all done.
Dave's gonna get us
all right.
nice
Speaking of you getting it all done, let's get a love update.
That's right. Give us a love update before we get out of here.
Great segue, Dave. That's championship quality right there. So last Saturday, I went and watched. Went to a bar and watched the St. Louis City SC, the soccer team, play. Called up a woman that I was dating last year. I dated her for like 5-6 months.
The
I
nurse?
talked about her from time to time on here. She was a nurse, or still is a nurse.
Obviously.
Yeah, and we hung out, watched the game.
one that
and
you
then-
had that you were having friends with benefits.
Yeah, it was that.
You had a mutual arrangement.
Yes. And then after the game, we came back to my house and things happened.
We're gonna fuck each other next.
All right.
So, you know,
Giggity.
yeah.
So
If you
the
come,
streak
you
is
best
ended.
Come hard.
Yes, the streak has ended. Whatever. The streak has ended.
Dry spell.
So you're
The
starting.
dry
a new
spell
streak.
has ended. The streak of bad dates has ended.
Well, this doesn't count as a good date. I mean, you're
Fair.
not gonna like. Well, I mean,
You,
you're not gonna
you
start
went back
dating
to
her.
old reliable. You went back to the old shoe that fits.
Let him have his win. Dave.
Well, I mean, I'm still gonna. We're probably gonna hang out again.
Yeah, but I mean, are you gonna like dates again?
I'm probably gonna try that and see what comes of that.
Well,
What comes, yeah.
If you come, you best come hard.
Thomas, don't we have a video?
A wise man once said that.
Thomas, don't we have an MVP video from last
Yeah,
year?
thank you for specifying that, Andrew.
We do. Do we want it now? Are we done with the Kevin Love update?
That was the
love update. Give us,
unless he wants to go into more detail about.
Wait, hold on. Before we move on,
did you use protection?
Southern Cody has a great question. Did you wear a guy liner like Derek Carr on the date?
No, I did not.
Did she have a nice warm cup of throat coat before you watched Netflix?
You mean after?
Well, before and after, I think, really.
Maybe a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I will not
confirm or deny.
I will not elaborate further.
He's not a kiss and tell kind of guy.
Thomas, do you want to give us the final MVP tally, or do you want to play the video first?
I think we're gonna play the video and give 2 minutes of a taking Saints Tiger Saint for the MVP, guys. So let's play the video first.
All right, let's.
Hey there, who that's? Hope you had a great weekend and a good Monday. I'm sitting here looking forward to the off-season shows with more Budrich trivia, and can't wait for the draft when I'm hoping the Panthers, I'm sure they're going to completely botch their pick and be 5-12 for the next 7 years, and the cap nerds will applaud them, and then the cap nerds will say the Saints and Mickey don't know what they're doing, but we'll have much better records and win the NFC South because we have the absolute best quarterback in the division. Who dat? Also, guys, hey, just so you'll know how Falcon frustration is surviving well in Atlanta, at Mass yesterday morning, the priest who actually studied at the St. Joseph Seminary in New Orleans specifically mentioned what frustration and suffering he went through and prayed about it when the Falcons lost in the Super Bowl. How could that have happened to him? So, hey, guys, who dat? Take care and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Proof there is a God.
Proof there is a guy. I love Andrew's dad is so optimistic about the Saints. Just lifts us up. I love it. So
he might be playing defensive tackle this year.
He might.
So he better suit up, Dad.
Oh, your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Thomas, final MVP tally, and then thanks to all the people who donated. You're going to give us a list of everybody who donated during the show.
So the official MVP of this episode is Tiger Saint with 3,000 bits. Also, thanks to Jason Champagne, Romeo, and Big JMC for supporting us during the show.
Romeo!
Thank you, man.
Oh, where was he? I didn't see him.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks for listening and supporting Saints Happy Hour. Please go to saintshappyhour.com, become a patron, and support the show. We can't do it without you guys' support. And thanks to Andrew, thanks to Kevin, thanks to Dave, thanks to Thomas running the show back in Poland. Thomas, I told him to keep it tight for the drinking references at the beginning of the show, and we only did 10 minutes of nonsense to start the show, so we're getting better for you. So we got that going for us. So
well, Thomas can show up on time.
Yeah. Daylight savings gets Thomas every year.
Every half year.
Because Poland,
Budrich wants to know, are we not doing the clip of the week, Thomas?
Maybe we will next week. Who knows?
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
So, Poland's a bunch of godless heathens. They don't have daylight savings time. It confuses Thomas every year. So, remember, kids, if you're going to support a Saints podcast, support the one that wins awards. Until next week, the bar is closed.